Uh, it's Pedro from Tuist, and I would like to show you how the caching functionality works. I get a lot of questions about like why someone should use Tuist instead of the Swift Package Manager. Because when you think about it, you can do the same thing in or similar things in both places. You can define your projects, targets, your packages. You can define dependencies between them. You can end up with an Xcode project that you can compile through different schemes. But what I always tell people is that one of them, in this case is Tuist, is designed for scale. We want developers to be able to work in large Xcode projects and feel like it's a small app. And because it's better if you see it live, I would like to show you how working in Tuist is with the Swift Package Manager and how working in Tuist is with Tuist using caching. Tuist is a large project. We have a lot of modules. We have a lot of code. So you can imagine it takes a long time to compile everything. So let's start by, I'm going to delete derived data. So there's nothing in my system. And I'm going to do open package.swift. So that opens Xcode. And then we'll see that Swift Package Manager will start doing things in my system, like pulling all the dependencies of the project. This will take a while because we have a lot of dependencies. In some cases, I've seen this failing, which is not great because you end up with a project that you can't compile at all. You need to close it, you need to open it again as a way to force Swift Package Manager to try resolving dependencies again. So as you can see, I could be editing some code, but I just want to compile this, and I can't. I need to wait for Swift Package Manager to finish doing whatever it's doing. So now it says it's finishing. Let's wait for a little bit. And now it seems like we are good to start compiling. I'm gonna go and compile the Tuist CLI. I do Command B, and then I see what happens. As I said before, this is a very large project with a lot of dependencies, whose source code we need to compile. Then we have, I believe, more than like 30 targets, test targets, framework and library targets, still compiling the third-party dependencies, which makes no sense. Like, why are you compiling third-party dependencies if you are not like modifying that code? So it's still compiling. It looks like now it started like compiling Tuist modules. 1,600 tasks out of 2,680 something. Still compiling. It is a long time. Like, imagine I'm a developer and I clone the repo and I would like to start building in like working or contributing to a small feature. Like if I have to wait for 10 minutes, 10 minutes is not a lot. When you talk to other companies in the industry that work with very large projects, you see times up to like 30 minutes, which is insane. Still, it hasn't finished. Now we see like over 3,300 tasks still compiling. Obviously, like if I do this in M1, it will be significantly faster, but this is not an M1, so it takes some time. Still hasn't finished. And like most of the time, incremental builds should work. But you know, like sometimes you need to delete derived data or like the local cache gets invalidated. So, it happens very often. We think it doesn't, but it does. And that's when everything starts compiling from a clean state. Well, I could stop it. I think it's better if I stop it. Otherwise, like we could wait the whole video, like waiting for this to finish. So I'll stop this. So you get the idea. It takes a long time to compile. I'll go back to the terminal. I'll delete everything again, like all the derived data, content. And now what I'm gonna do is I have this command is called twist cache warm, which means take my project, take all the frameworks, all the targets, everything that you can cache and cache it, like create a binary and store it. This works both locally and remotely. We are working on a new product. It's called Tuist Cloud that will give teams that remote cache so that you don't need to store anything locally. Like you use, if someone else in your team has built a framework, you will use the framework that the person built, which is amazing. So I run this command, and now what it's doing is like it build all the binaries, store them locally. I did that before. So we have the cache already warm. We have something, we have binaries. And now this is where the magic happens. Now I'm going to tell Tuist that I want to focus on something. On what? On the Tuist CLI. So if I do Tuist focus Tuist, and it can be any framework that is part of the CLI, for example, Tuist Analytics, or for example, Tuist Core, I'll get a project to focus on Tuist Core, or maybe I want to focus on two things at the same time. Maybe I want to focus on Tuist Core and Tuist Analytics. Why not? Well, let's start with Tuist, because it's the thing that we were trying to compile before. Tuist, focus, Tuist. And then we get a project, same as before. With some differences, we only have one target, which is Tuist itself. And if we look at all the dependencies of Tuist, they are binaries. They are binaries that are coming from the cache. I don't want to be compiling them. It doesn't make sense. I don't plan to work on those frameworks. Why is Xcode compiling them when I clean the app data? So if I do Command B to build, it's built. How long did it take? And I cleaned the app data. I have those binaries. It took seconds to build. But let's go back. Because yeah, like sure, like there are those binaries, and then you change the linking, and then sure, like you have a binary that links against statically against all these other frameworks. Well, I could do that. But let's do Tuist focus, Tuist analytics, and for example, what are other features? For example, Tuist core, or not Tuist core. Yeah, Tuist core. Because I plan to focus on those targets, now I have Tuist Core, I have Tuist Analytics, and we probably need to get the sources of this one because it's connected somehow to the others. So now I can go to Tuist Analytics, for example, and there are some other schemes in this list that shouldn't be there. So this is something that we need to improve. But if we try to compile Tuist Analytics, you see that Tuist Analytics depends on Tuist Core, so we need to compile Tuist Core first, and then we can compile Tuist Analytics. So Analytics depends on both Tuist Core and Tuist AsyncQ. Tuist Core has all its dependencies as binaries, including like the third-party dependencies. As you can see here, we have Rx Swift, we have signals, we have all the Swift Package Manager packages. Those are binaries. We don't have to compile them. I can switch to the Tuist Core scheme, I compile, and it takes seconds. I clean everything, I compile again, it takes seconds to build. And this is why I believe, and all the Tuist group believes, that Tuist is the way forward to work with projects at scale, because we are the ones optimizing. With Apple and Xcode way of like integrating Swift Package Manager, you are not the one optimizing. Apple has to optimize things for you, and Apple is not doing much about like the challenges of like doing app development at scale. On the other side of the spectrum, we have like an powerful build systems like Bazel and Back that some companies are using, but it comes with a lot of complexity of like integrating a new build system into Xcode, and also something that you have to maintain with every new Xcode version, with every new Swift version. With this, you don't have any inconvenience of having to maintain anything. The only thing that you have to do is you migrate your project to Tuist, and after that, you get caching for free, and soon remote caching. And then you'll make your developers, the developers in your team, way more productive. They can clean their app data, and things will compile because they will get binaries from a remote cache. And this is why I think Tuist is much better for describing your projects. Hope you liked it.